Hey guys, tonight we're going to explore the immense and terrifying power of a promise in the ancient world. We're journeying back to the final, bloody days of the Roman Republic, a time of legendary discipline, of shifting loyalties, and of sacred oaths that were considered absolutely unbreakable. We're going to learn what it was like to take one of these great vows, a seal made not with blood or magic, but with your own words and your very soul. And in the chapters to come, we will see the terrible, miserable consequences of what happened when such an oath was broken. Now for our little reality check. In the modern world, we think of an oath or a contract as a legal agreement. Breaking it might result in a lawsuit or a strongly worded letter from a lawyer. For a Roman soldier, breaking your military oath, the sacramentum, was a different matter entirely. It was a direct insult to the gods. You weren't just risking a court-martial, you were risking a personal, custom-delivered thunderbolt from Jupiter himself. It was a system with very high stakes. So, before you get comfortable, take a moment to like the video and subscribe, but only if you genuinely enjoy what I do here. Your support is the sacred vow that keeps this channel going. And as always, I love seeing where in the world you're joining from. So please post your city and your local time in the comments. Now, dim the lights. Maybe turn on a fan for that soft background hum, and let's ease into tonight's journey together. Your world is one of mud, leather, and the cold. Damp air of the German frontier. The year is 50 BCE. You are a young Roman citizen named Lucius, and you have just done what generations of ambitious young men from respectable but not wealthy families have done before you. You have enlisted in the legions. You have traded 20 years of your life for the promise of steady pay, a plot of land upon your retirement, and the chance to earn glory in the service of the Senate and people of Rome. You have been sent to a legionary fortress on the Rhine River, a great, intimidating camp of earth and timber, an island of grim Roman order in a vast, dark, and seemingly endless forest. Your first few months are a brutal education in the life of a recruit. A tyro. You are systematically broken down and rebuilt as a Roman soldier. You learn to march 30 miles a day with a 60-pound pack. You learn the brutal, efficient sword work of the gladius. And you learn to obey the commands of your centurion, a man whose neck is thicker than your leg, and whose voice is like the grinding of stones. Without question and without hesitation, after months of this grueling training, the day you have been waiting for arrives. You and the other recruits have been deemed worthy. Today, you will cease to be Tyrones. Today, you will take the sacramentum. You will become soldiers. You are assembled on the campus, the great parade ground inside the fortress walls. The entire legion is present. Thousands of men standing in their silent, disciplined cohorts. Their iron-gray armor and red shields a testament to the awesome power of Rome. The air is thick with a solemn, almost religious anticipation. The legion's legate, your general, a grim and respected veteran named Gaius Crassus, stands on a high platform. Before him, held aloft by a proud standard-bearer, is the sacred heart of your legion, the Aquila, the eagle. It is a magnificent standard of polished silver, its wings outstretched, a golden thunderbolt clutched in its talons. It is not just a banner, it is the physical embodiment of the legion's spirit, its honor, and its connection to the great god Jupiter. The ceremony begins. The legate speaks, his voice a clear, commanding boom that carries across the silent field. He speaks of duty, of honor, of the glory of Rome. Then he begins to recite the words of the oath. When he is finished, it is your turn, one by one, in order of seniority. The new soldiers are called forward. Finally, you hear your name, your heart pounding. You march forward on your own. Your footsteps the only sound in the vast square. You halt before the legate and the eagle. You place your right hand upon the shaft of the great silver standard. It is cool and solid beneath your palm. You look up at the face of the legate, and you speak the words that will bind your life and your soul to the fate of Rome. I, Lucius, do solemnly swear. You begin, your voice clear and strong, to faithfully obey my commander, to never desert my post, nor to refuse to die for the Roman Republic. You continue, your voice ringing with a fierce, idealistic pride. I swear by Jupiter, by Mars, by the goddess Vesta, and by all the gods and goddesses, to hold my comrades as dearer than myself, and to consider the enemies of Rome as my own enemies. Should I break this oath, I call upon the gods to strike me down and to bring ruin upon me and my house. When you are finished, you step back. You have done it. You have sworn the sacramentum. That evening, a senior centurion speaks to you and the other new soldiers, explaining the true, terrible weight of the words you have just spoken. An oath, he growls, is a conditional self-curse? You have willingly, in the presence of the gods, placed your life in their hands as collateral. If you are true to your word, they will protect you. If you break your word, they will collect their debt. A man who breaks the sacramentum is homo sacer, a man accursed. He is an outlaw to both men and gods. He no longer has any rights. His life is forfeit. You listen, and you feel not fear, but a profound sense of purpose. Your life now has a clear, noble meaning. Future historians will debate what truly held the legions together. Was it the fear of the gods, the brutal discipline, or the loyalty between comrades, you know? In this moment, that it is all of them at once. You feel the awe of the gods. You fear the wrath of your centurion. And you feel a deep and growing bond with the 7 other men in your contubernium, your tent group, who are now your family. After the ceremony, you are issued your official legionary armor, and you might even be branded with a small, permanent mark of the legion on your arm, a physical seal to match the spiritual one you have just made. A great feast is held in the camp to celebrate the new soldiers. There is wine and roasted meat, a rare luxury. You sit with your new brothers in arms, and you feel a sense of belonging more powerful than any you have ever known. You look across the firelit camp at the Eagle Standard, now resting in its shrine in the camp's Principia. You feel that your promise to it, to your general, and to the gods of Rome, is the most solid, the most real, and the most unbreakable thing in your entire world. You are a soldier of the Republic. Your oath is your soul, and you are certain, with all the fierce idealism of your youth, that you will never, ever break it. Years pass on the German frontier. The idealism of your first day as a soldier is hardened by the realities of campaign life. You are no longer a fresh-faced recruit. You are now a seasoned legionary, an optio in your century, the second in command to your centurion. You have fought in a dozen skirmishes against the Germanic tribes. You have endured the bitter winters and the short, wet summers. Your loyalty to your general, Gaius Crassus, and to the eagle of your legion, has been tested in battle and has been found strong. The sacramentum you swore is no longer just a memory of a ceremony. It is the bedrock of your existence. Then, the world begins to come apart. News arrives from Rome, carried by imperial messengers on lathered horses. The reports are confused, contradictory, and deeply unsettling. The great men of the Republic, the titans who have governed the world for a lifetime, are now at each other's throats. The Senate is in turmoil. 2 men, the great General Pompey and his ambitious rival, the charismatic and populist Julius Caesar, are locked in a struggle for ultimate power. Civil war, the most feared of all Roman horrors, is no longer a possibility, it is a reality. A heavy, anxious mood settles over your camp. Your general, Crassus, is a man of the old Republic, a staunch supporter of Pompey and the Senate. He makes his allegiance clear, but the common soldiers whisper in the barracks at night, They have all heard the stories of Caesar. They have heard of his incredible victories in Gaul, of his legendary generosity to his men. He is a figure of myth, a man who inspires a fanatical devotion. The abstract political struggle in a distant city becomes a terrifying reality for you one spring morning. Scouts report that a great army is approaching your fortress. It is the army of Caesar, fresh from a series of stunning victories in Italy. Now marching north to secure the provinces, your legion is put on high alert. You expect a siege. A great battle, but Caesar does not begin with an assault. He begins with an offer. He arrives before your fortress, but not with his army in battle array. He comes to parley, accompanied only by a small bodyguard. Your general, Crassus, agrees to meet him in the open field between the two armies. And you, as a junior officer, are part of the official party that bears witness. You see Caesar for the first time. He is everything your own general is not, where Crassus is old, stern, and formal. Caesar is a man of vigorous middle age, his eyes alive with a piercing intelligence and a restless energy. He does not speak like a stiff patrician. He speaks to your centurions as if they are his equals, his comrades. He gives a speech. It is a masterpiece of persuasion. He does not ask your legion to be traitors. He frames the choice as one of true loyalty. He claims that the Senate has been corrupted by a small clique of arrogant nobles, that Pompey is their pawn, and that he, Caesar, is the true champion of the Roman people and the common soldier. And then he makes his promises. He speaks of the vast wealth he has won in his campaigns, and he promises to double the pay of every soldier who joins his cause. He promises a great bonus upon his final victory, and he promises not a small plot of land in some distant, forgotten province, but a fine farm in the heart of Italy itself for every veteran. It is a temptation of almost unimaginable scale. The enemy general arrives, instead of attacking. He gives a very inspiring speech and offers everyone a massive pay raise to switch sides. It's an unconventional, but surprisingly effective recruitment strategy. You return to the fortress, and it is a place in turmoil. The offer has spread through the ranks like wildfire. The common soldiers, men who have not been paid in months, who have grown old in this cold, wet land, are in a state of near mutiny. They are not concerned with the politics of the Senate. They are concerned with the promise of a rich and comfortable retirement that night in your barracks. A fierce debate rages among the men of your contubernium. We swore an oath, a young, idealistic soldier named Gallus argues. We swore it to Crassus. To the Senate to break it is to damn our own souls. But another, older veteran named Crixus, scoffs. I swore my oath for a promise of land and pay. He growls. Crassus and the Senate have been slow to deliver. Caesar is here. His pay is real. His victories are real. I am a soldier. I follow the general who wins and who pays. Future historians will debate the motivations of the men who chose their sides in this great war. Was it greed? Was it political conviction? Or was it a pragmatic desire to survive you? Sitting in your barracks, see that it is all three, a tangled knot of self-interest, honor, and fear. You are torn. The sacramentum is a sacred, holy thing to you. You swore it before the gods, your loyalty to your general. Crassus is a bond forged in battle, but you cannot deny the power of Caesar's words and the life-changing promise of his offer. And you see the way the wind is blowing. You see the hardened, calculating looks in the eyes of even your most senior centurions. They believe Caesar will win. To remain loyal to Crassus is to choose the path of honor. But it is also, you suspect, to choose the losing side. You are now faced with a difficult choice. Uphold your sacred, unbreakable oath to the gods, or switch sides and get enough money to buy a nice farm with a vineyard. The theological and financial incentives are in direct conflict. The next day, Caesar gives your general an ultimatum. Declare for him by nightfall, or be declared an enemy of Rome and be destroyed. The legion is a powder keg. ready to explode. The men are openly gathering, shouting Caesar's name. Your own centurion comes to you, his face grim. The legion is going to turn, he says quietly. There is no stopping it. The old general's honor will be the death of us all if we let it. You must choose. Lucius, the past, or the future? You stand on the ramparts of the fortress, looking out at the two great armies. Your army, behind you, is on the verge of tearing itself apart, and Caesar's army, before you, is a picture of disciplined, victorious confidence. The sacred, unbreakable oath that has been the foundation of your entire world now feels like a fragile, fraying rope, with a chasm of dishonor on one side and a chasm of annihilation on the other. The ultimatum from Caesar hangs over your fortress like the executioner's axe. The camp is a cauldron of simmering mutiny. Your general, Gaius Crassus, a man of the old republic, decides to make one last, desperate appeal to the virtue he still believes resides in the hearts of his men, their honor. He has the legion assemble on the parade ground. He stands on the platform, not with the arrogance of a commander, but with the sorrow of a father. The sacred eagle of the legion is brought forth, its silver wings gleaming in the pale sunlight. Crassus speaks. He does not offer them more money, for he has none. He offers them only their history, their name, their oath. He speaks of the battles they have fought together under that eagle. He speaks of the glory of Rome, of their duty to the Senate, and he speaks of the sacramentum. It was more than words, he pleads, his voice thick with emotion. It was a pact you made with the gods. To break it is to break yourselves. To abandon this eagle is to abandon your own souls. His speech is magnificent. It is a testament to an older, prouder Rome, and it is a complete and utter failure. It moves the hearts of a few of the younger recruits. Men like your friend Gallus, whose idealism has not yet been worn away by years of hard service. But for the veterans, for the hardened centurions, his words are the sentimental ramblings of a man who does not understand the new world. Their loyalty is to victory, and to the leader who can provide it that night. The decision is made. The senior centurions, in a secret council, vote to accept Caesar's offer. They will abandon Crassus. A quiet order is passed through the barracks. Those who wish to join the march to glory and wealth will assemble at the north gate at midnight. Those who wish to remain and die with their honor and their old general are free to do so. You are in your tent, your mind a raging storm. You think of your oath, the sacred words you spoke, your hand on the standard. You think of the gods, whose wrath you have willingly called down upon yourself should you break that vow. And you think of the face of your general, Crassus, a man who has always treated you with a gruff, fatherly respect. But then you think of the faces of your comrades, the men of your contubernium, who are all quietly packing their gear. You think of your centurion's pragmatic words, the past or the future. You think of the promised farm in Italy, a life of peace and comfort after 20 years of this cold. Northern hell. It is a choice between your honor and your life, between the gods of the past and the master of the future, and you, Lucius, a good Roman soldier. You make the choice of a frightened and ambitious man. You make the choice that will haunt you for the rest of your days. You pack your gear. You shoulder your pack. And with a sense of shame so profound it feels like a physical sickness, you walk out of your tent and join the great, silent, shuffling river of traitors heading for the north gate. It is a shameful exodus. The majority of the legion, thousands of men, march out into the darkness, abandoning their fortress, their general, and their sacred eagle, which has been left behind in its shrine. You do not look back. You cannot bear to. You are met in the field by Caesar's officers. The transition is swift and professional. You are no longer a soldier of the ex-legion. You are now a soldier in Caesar's army, and you must immediately swear a new oath. You are brought before a new standard, a new eagle. You place your hand on its cold, silver shaft, and with a tongue that feels thick and foreign in your own mouth. You repeat the words of the sacramentum, the same sacred words you swore years ago. But this time, they are a profanity. They are an act of perjury committed in the face of the very gods you are invoking. You feel their eyes upon you, and you feel not their blessing, but their cold, silent, and eternal contempt. The next morning, the news arrives of what happened after you left. General Crassus, with the few hundred loyalists who remained with him, was forced to surrender to Caesar. He was not executed. Caesar, in a show of calculated mercy, simply stripped him of his rank and his command and forced him into a disgraced retirement. You have not just deserted your general, you have utterly destroyed him. You are now in your new camp. You have received the first installment of your promised bonus, a purse of silver denarii so heavy it weighs down your belt. You are on the winning side. You have secured your future, and you have never felt more miserable. You have sold your honor, a thing of infinite value for a handful of coins. You stand at the edge of the new camp, looking out at the setting sun, the immediate danger of the civil war. The choice between two armies is over, but a new and more terrible war has just begun. A war for your own soul. You have broken your pact with the gods, and in the profound and terrible quiet of your own heart, you can feel them watching you, waiting. The consequences are yet to come. In the first days after your desertion, the heavy purse of silver coins feels less like a reward and more like a stone in your gut. You and the thousands of other oathbreakers are merged into Caesar's great army, and you march on. You tell yourself that you have made the pragmatic, the logical choice. You are a soldier in a victorious army, under the command of a genius. Your future is secure. It is a lie you repeat to yourself in the quiet of the night. But your own soul does not believe it. The consequences of your broken oath do not begin with a clap of thunder from the heavens. They begin as a quiet, insidious poison in your own mind. Your guilt, your deep and profound shame, has changed the way you see the world. You have called down the wrath of the gods upon yourself, and now you begin to see their anger in every shadow, in every gust of wind. The world becomes a tapestry of bad omens, and you are the unwilling center of them all. One morning, as your unit is marching out of a temporary camp, you stumble on the threshold of the gate, your foot catching on the raised earth of the rampart. You fall to one knee in the mud. It is a simple, clumsy misstep. But in the Roman mind, to stumble upon a threshold, a limen, is a deeply unlucky sign, a portent of the failure of the journey to come. Your comrades see it. They exchange quiet, uneasy glances. You feel your face burn with a shame that is far hotter than the simple embarrassment of a fall. A few days later, you are on watch on the camp's palisade. The night is clear, and then you hear it. The low, mournful hoot of an owl from the dark forest nearby. It is just a bird, but an owl, the creature of the night. Hooting during the daylight hours is a terrible omen. The other men on the watch with you fall silent, their hands instinctively touching the small, leather good luck charms they wear around their necks. You've learned to be terrified of birds. If they fly on the left, it's bad. If they fly on the right, and it's probably also bad in a different way. You're starting to think the only good bird is a cooked one. The world, which once seemed a place of straightforward, physical reality, is now a text, a scroll of divine warnings, and every line seems to be about you. The omens grow more specific, more personal. You become a magnet for misfortune during a sudden, violent thunderstorm. A bolt of lightning strikes a great oak tree not 50 feet from your tent, splitting it in two with a deafening crack. You are unharmed, but the proximity of the strike is noted by everyone. You are quickly gaining a reputation as the unluckiest man in the entire Roman army. Your comrades have started keeping a safe distance from you, just in case a random thunderbolt has your name on it. Your guilt has made you a student of a new kind of history, a debate for the ages. Are these omens the genuine communications of angry gods, or are they merely random, natural events that your own guilty conscience is twisting into a meaningful pattern? You are a living example of confirmation bias. Because you believe you are cursed, you find the evidence for your curse everywhere. Your new general, Caesar, is not a superstitious man, but he is a master of men's souls. He sees the wavering morale of his new legion. He knows he must act. After a particularly bad omen, a wolf is seen slinking through the camp at dawn. He calls the entire legion to assemble. He performs a great public lustratio, a purification ceremony. He has a priest sacrifice a pig, a sheep, and a bull, and he has the blood sprinkled to purify the camp's standards. He then gives a speech. He does not deny the omens. He reinterprets them. You see a wolf in the camp and you are afraid. He booms, his voice a charismatic trumpet. But I see the spirit of Mars himself, the wolf father of our city, come to inspect his new, victorious sons. The gods are not angry with you, they are with you. The men cheer. Their anxieties are soothed by his powerful certainty. But you are not so easily convinced. The gods he speaks of Jupiter. Mars are the very gods by whom you swore your first. True oath. The gods you have betrayed, the final. Undeniable sign comes a month later. Your new legion is on the march, and you are caught in a great and terrible storm. The sky turns black, and the rain falls in solid sheets. In the midst of the storm is a single, blinding flash of lightning, followed by a crack of thunder so loud it feels as if the sky itself has broken. A scream of pure terror goes up from the front of the column. You learn later what has happened. The lightning has struck the new legionary standard, the very eagle to which you swore your new. False oath. The silver has been melted, the pole shattered. This is not an omen that can be reinterpreted. It is a direct, catastrophic, and unambiguous statement. The gods have struck down the very symbol of your new allegiance. The entire legion is thrown into a panic. The whispers that had been quiet now become a roar. The men who came with you from Crassus's legion, the Oathbreakers, are now seen as a source of divine contagion. "We are cursed," a soldier near you cries out. "We are a legion of traitors, and Jupiter himself has disowned us." The wrath of the gods is no longer a quiet, personal fear in your own mind. It has become a public, terrifying reality for all to see. You look at the shattered remains of your new eagle, and you know that the whispers of misfortune are over. The true consequences, the real intangible misfortunes of a cursed legion, are about to begin. The destruction of the legion's eagle by a bolt of lightning is not an omen that can be explained away. It is a direct and terrifying communication from the heavens. A profound and fearful rot sets into the soul of your new legion. The charismatic certainty of your new general, Caesar, can hold the fear at bay for a time, but it cannot banish it. He has a new silver eagle forged, but everyone knows it's a counterfeit. A hollow replacement for the one that was consecrated by the gods and now destroyed by them. You and the other men who deserted your old general, Crassus, are now openly marked. You are the Oathbreakers. You are the source of the divine anger. You are a curse upon the army. Your comrades from Caesar's original legions begin to shun you. They will not share a fire with you, nor drink from the same cup. You are segregated, a cohort of the accursed. Your professional life now a form of social exile. And then, the intangible wrath of the gods begins to manifest in the physical world. The string of bad omens is replaced by a string of real and terrible misfortunes. A sickness sweeps through your cohort. It is not the great, swift plague that empties cities. It is a slow, grinding, miserable illness of the guts. A bloody flux that drains the strength from a man and leaves him a pale, weak husk. The army surgeons call it dysentery and blame a bad water source. But you know the truth. The sickness is selective. It afflicts only the men who broke their oath. It is a divine poison, a slow-working curse sent to rot you from the inside out. Your legion's legendary luck in battle vanishes. Once an unstoppable force, you now suffer a series of small, humiliating, and bloody setbacks. A scouting party, of which you are a member, gets hopelessly lost in the forest, walking in circles for 2 days before stumbling back into camp. A feat of incompetence that earns you the scorn of the entire army. A week later, your cohort is tasked with guarding a supply convoy. You are ambushed by a band of Germanic tribesmen, a small force that your unit, in its prime, would have brushed aside with contempt. But now, your men are weak from sickness and worse. From a deep-seated fear, they believe they are cursed. They hesitate. Their shield wall falters for a moment. And in that moment, the enemy is among them. The fight is a short, bloody, and shameful disaster. You are driven back, and the supply wagons are lost. Your legion used to be invincible. Now, you can't seem to win a training exercise against a group of angry farmers. It seems divine favor is a significant tactical advantage. The failure becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. Because you believe you are cursed, you fight with less courage. Because you fight with less courage, you lose. And because you lose, your belief in the curse is confirmed. You are trapped in a downward spiral of fear and failure. Future historians, in their comfortable studies, will debate the importance of morale to the success of the Roman army. You are living the answer. Your training is the same. Your weapons are the same. But your belief in your own divine favor, the core of a Roman soldier's virtues, has been shattered. And without it, you are nothing but armed men, waiting to be killed. The general, Caesar, in an attempt to restore morale, has his priests perform a great deviatio, a ritual of purification. The entire legion is marched out of the camp. A sacrifice of a dozen white bulls is made, and then the legion is marched back in through the main gate. A symbolic rebirth, but the ritual feels hollow. The men march with their heads down. The gods, it seems, are not so easily appeased. You, personally, are tormented. You feel the weight of this collective curse on your own shoulders. You are an officer, a man responsible for others. And now, you are leading them into disaster after disaster in the dead of night. You sneak out of the camp to a small, hidden grove, and you make your own desperate, private offering. You sacrifice a small portion of your own wine and bread to Jupiter, the god you swore your first oath to. The god you betrayed, you pray for forgiveness, for a sign. But the only answer is the silent soughing of the wind in the dark trees. The final, personal blow comes during another pointless skirmish over a river crossing. Your unit is ambushed again. It is a chaotic, messy fight in the mud and the rain. In the midst of the fighting, you see your friend Gallus, the young, idealistic soldier who had argued so passionately against breaking the oath, but who had, in the end, followed his comrades. You see him stumble, a barbarian spear protruding from his chest. He falls, his face a mask of shock and a kind of sad. Final vindication, you and another soldier drag his body back from the fight. The skirmish is a failure. Your unit is forced to retreat once more. That night, you sit with the body of your friend. You look at his young face, now pale and still. He had kept his misgivings to himself after the desertion, but you had seen the quiet shame in his eyes. He had died in the service of a new general he did not respect, under a shattered standard he did not believe in, all for a handful of silver he never got to spend. You are overwhelmed by a single, crushing certainty this is your fault. The curse, the wrath of the gods you have unleashed, is not just a matter of bad luck and spoiled food. It is real. and it is killing the men around you. The vague, superstitious fears have now been replaced by the cold, hard, and bloody reality of your friend's corpse. The ghost of your broken oath now has a body count. You give your friend Gallus a soldier's burial, a simple, shallow grave near the site of the skirmish where he fell. There is no priest, no ceremony, only the quiet, grim work of your own shovel, as you cover his body with the last of the cold. Damp earth. You are overwhelmed by a single, crushing thought this is your fault. The curse you brought upon this legion has now killed a man who, in his heart, remained true. Your guilt becomes your new, constant companion. It is a heavier burden than your legionary pack, more chilling than the German winter, and it is a guilt that soon takes on a spectral, walking form. The nightmares begin. Sleep is no longer a refuge from the misery of your waking life. It is a trial, a nightly judgment from which there is no escape. Every time you close your eyes, you are back in the camp of your old legion, and he is there, waiting for you. General Gaius Crassus, the man you betrayed, he stands at the foot of your cot in your dream, wearing the familiar, worn leather armor he always favored. His face is not twisted in anger. It is worse. It is filled with a profound and bottomless disappointment. The look of a father whose favorite son has just broken his heart. He does not speak. He does not need to. He simply stands there, his sad, knowing eyes fixed upon you, and in their gaze, you are weighed, you are judged, and you are found wanting. Sleep is no longer an escape. It's a private meeting with the very disappointed ghost of your former boss. Your performance review is terrible. Every single night, you begin to dread sleep. You try to stay awake, pacing in the darkness of your barracks tent. But exhaustion always claims you, and you are plunged back into the same recurring nightmare. Soon, the haunting begins to bleed into the edges of your waking world. You are on a long, monotonous march, your mind numb with fatigue. You glance to the side of the road, and for a fleeting, heart-stopping moment, you see him, Crassus, marching silently alongside the column, his gaze fixed on you, a ghost keeping pace with his old legion. Before he dissolves like smoke, you start to hear his voice. It is not a shout, it is a whisper on the wind, a faint murmur that only you can hear, repeating the sacred, terrible words of the oath you swore to him, the oath you broke. Never to desert my post, to refuse to die for the Roman Republic. Your physical and mental state begins to deteriorate. You cannot eat. The food tastes like ash in your mouth. You grow gaunt, your armor hanging loosely on your frame. Your eyes are wild and bloodshot from the lack of sleep. You jump at shadows. You mutter responses to the whispers only you can hear. Your new comrades, who already shunned you for being unlucky, now begin to shun you for being mad. They give you a wide berth in the barracks. No one will share a cup of wine with you. You are no longer just the cursed man. You are the haunted man, a ghost walking among the living. Your comrades now avoid you, not just because you're unlucky, but because you keep having quiet, one-sided conversations with a ghost that only you can see. It's making social gatherings in the barracks very awkward. You are living inside a debate that will one day occupy the minds of physicians and philosophers. Is this a true haunting? A spirit from the underworld come to claim your forsworn soul? Or is it a sickness of the mind? A waking nightmare born of the profound trauma of war and the corrosive acid of your own guilt? You, in the grip of this terror, cannot tell the difference. The ghost is real because your guilt is real. After weeks of this torment, you reach a breaking point. You know you will go truly mad if you do not speak of it. In a moment of desperation, you go to your new centurion, a hard, pragmatic man named Valerius. You request a private word, and in the privacy of his tent, the whole terrible story comes pouring out. You tell him of the broken oath, of the guilt, of the omens, of the death of Gallus, and now, of the ghost of Crassus that gives you no peace. The centurion listens to your entire, frantic confession without expression. He is a man who believes in the gods, but who believes more in discipline and the strength of a soldier's will. When you are finished, he looks at you not with sympathy, but with a kind of weary contempt. So, he says, his voice cold, your old general is dead, and you feel guilty. This is war. Lucius. Men die, generals are replaced. Your feelings are a luxury we cannot afford. There is no ghost. There is only weakness in your mind. You have allowed your soldier spirit, your virtues, to be broken by peasant superstition. He stands up, his great frame looming over you. I cannot cure a weak spirit, he says. My only advice to you is this: be a Roman soldier. Do your duty, and if you see your ghost again, I suggest you put a pilum through it. He pauses at the tent flap. Now, pull yourself together. You are a disgrace to my century. You confess to your new boss that you're being haunted by the ghost of the general you betrayed. He listens patiently and then suggests you try getting more sleep. It is not the spiritual guidance you were hoping for. You were left alone in the centurion's tent. Your desperate plea for help dismissed as a failure of character. You are utterly, completely alone. Your new commanders see your torment as a weakness. Your comrades see it as a dangerous contagion. And the ghost of your old commander, the ghost of your own broken honor, is now your only constant companion. You stumble back to your own tent. You fall onto your cot, and you close your eyes, and he is there, waiting for you. The sad, disappointed face of General Crassus. There is no escape. You have broken your oath, and now your own soul has become your eternal tormentor. Your centurion's dismissal is a final, brutal judgment. There is no appeal in the Roman army. A man who is deemed a coward or a madman is worse than useless. He is a liability. The next morning, you are formally stripped of your rank as optioin. Your silver inlaid armor and the staff of your office are taken from you. You are a common legionary again, and the lowest of them at that. Your new duties are a form of public and profound disgrace. You are assigned to the baggage train. You are no longer a soldier who fights. You are a laborer who digs latrines, who tends to the sick and stinking mules, who lives and works among the lowest of the camp followers. You've been demoted from respected junior officer to chief latrine engineer for the 3rd cohort. Your career trajectory has taken an unfortunate turn. Your isolation is now absolute. Your former comrades from Caesar's legions, who always saw you with suspicion, now look at you with open contempt, and the men who deserted with you, the other oath breakers, now avoid you with an almost religious terror. They see in your haunted eyes and your public disgrace the full, terrible manifestation of the curse that they all fear. You are a walking symbol of their collective sin, a scapegoat for their own anxieties. Your torment continues. The silent, judging face of General Crassus fills your dreams. His whispered recitation of your broken oath is your constant companion on the long marches. You are a man being hollowed out from the inside by your own guilt. Desperate. You realize that the Roman world, the world of military discipline and stoic reason, has no cure for your affliction. You must seek help elsewhere. You turn your eyes to the chaotic, vibrant, and deeply superstitious world of the camp followers. Here, among the merchants and the artisans, are fortune tellers, healers, and wise women from every corner of the known world. Practitioners of 100 different kinds of ancient, barbarian magic. You seek out an old woman, a Gallic seer, renowned among the common soldiers for her skill in charms and divination. You go to her tent at night, a shameful secret visit. Her tent is a world away from the clean, orderly lines of the Roman camp. It is filled with the smell of strange herbs. With bundles of feathers and animal skulls hanging from the roof pole, she listens to your story, her old, dark eyes seeming to see the ghost that stands just behind your shoulder. She performs a divination, casting a handful of marked bones onto a black cloth and reading their pattern. When she is finished, she confirms your deepest fears. "You are haunted," she says, her voice a low, guttural whisper. "You have broken a great oath. The gods to whom you swore are angry, and they have withdrawn their protection from you. Your own soul is an open, undefended wound, and the spirit of the man you betrayed. He has latched onto you. He does not seek to harm you. He seeks to remind you. He wants you to feel the weight of his sorrow." The seer's words, though terrifying, are a strange comfort. She does not see you as a madman. She sees you as a man with a genuine spiritual sickness. "Can you help me?" you plead. She shakes her head. "I cannot command your Roman gods, nor the spirit of a Roman general. My own gods have no power here." But she offers you what she can. She creates a small protective charm for you. A leather pouch containing a badger's tooth for courage, a crow's feather for watchfulness, and a pinch of salt to purify your spirit. "It is a weak shield against such a great sorrow," she says. "But it is better than no shield at all. The seer has given you a protective amulet. It's not exactly standard Roman military issue, but at this point, you are willing to try anything. More importantly, she gives you advice. A wound made by offending your gods cannot be healed by the gods of another. She tells you, you must find a way to appease your own. The man you betrayed is now among the demons, the spirits of the dead. It is to them you must now make your plea. You must make a great and difficult penance. You must find a way to honor the ghost that haunts you. You leave her tent, the strange pagan charm clutched in your hand. You have been given a new, desperate, and almost impossible path. The world of the living army has cast you out. The world of the celestial gods, of Jupiter and Mars, has turned its face from you. Now, you must seek your salvation in the final, most feared of all realms, the world of the dead. You must find a way to appease the ghost of General Crassus and the chthonic gods who are now his masters. Your quest for absolution, a journey into the heart of Roman funerary belief, is about to begin. The small pagan charm from the Gallic seer is a strange and secret comfort, a piece of alien magic hidden beneath your Roman tunic. It does not silence the ghost of General Crassus, but it gives you a sliver of hope, a new path to follow. She told you that you must appease the gods of your own people, the demones, the divine spirits of the dead. You are no longer a soldier. You are now a pilgrim on a quest for absolution. Your first step is to seek a solution within the world. You know the rigid, ordered structure of the legion? An army has its own priest, its own religious officials. You seek out the legion's haruspics, an old Etruscan priest who is the army's official diviner, the man who reads the will of the gods in the entrails of sacrificed animals. You find him in his tent, a place that smells of blood and incense. You make a full and desperate confession. You tell him of your broken sacramentum, of the ghost that haunts you, of the advice from the Gallic seer. You ask him, "What sacrifice must I make? What offering can I give to the manes to appease the spirit of my general and cleanse my soul?" The old haruspics looks at you not with pity, but with a kind of professional horror. "You ask for the impossible," he says, his voice a dry whisper. "A common sin, a theft. An act of cowardice can be cleansed, a goat, a bull. A proper offering can restore the pax deorum, the peace of the gods. But what you have done is not a common sin." He explains the terrible, legalistic nature of your crime. "The sacramentum," he says, "is the most sacred of all vows. When you swore it, you placed your life, your very soul, in the hands of the gods as collateral. When you broke your vow, you did not just betray your general, you did not just betray Rome, You betrayed the gods themselves. Your soul is now forfeit. There is no sacrifice great enough to buy it back. For your own life is the price that is owed. You confess your sins to the army priest and ask for help. He basically tells you that your particular sin is so bad, it's above his pay grade, and that you should probably just prepare for an eternity of divine wrath. He refuses to help you. To perform a sacrifice on your behalf, he explains, would be to invite the anger of the gods upon himself. He casts you out of his tent. Rejected by the official religion of the army, you realize you must seek help from the civilian world. This requires a new and final act of betrayal. You desert. One night, you slip away from the camp. No longer a soldier, but a simple fugitive. A man on a desperate pilgrimage. You travel for weeks, a ragged beggar on the roads of Gaul, until you reach a great Roman city, a provincial capital with grand and ancient temples. You seek out the temple dedicated to the gods of the underworld, Dispater and Proserpina. It is a dark, somber building of black stone, its entrance flanked by statues of snarling, three-headed dogs. You go to the priest of the temple. You take the heavy purse of silver you received from Caesar, the very coins that were the price of your original betrayal, and you offer it all to them. Perform a great sacrifice for me, you plead. Make an offering to the gods of the underworld, to the divine manes. Ask them to accept this payment and to grant peace to the soul of Gaius Crassus, and to my own. The temple priests listen to your story, their faces grim. They see the weight of your offering, but they, too, shake their heads. It is a matter of religious law, the ius divinum. The high priest explains, his voice cold and formal. A sin of this magnitude, the breaking of a sacramentum militare, is a crime against the state and its highest gods. We, as simple priests of a provincial temple, have no authority to absolve it. He tells you that only the College of Pontiffs in Rome itself, led by the Pontifex Maximus, could even consider such a case, and he assures you that they would refuse. You learn that to get forgiveness for breaking a military oath, you would need to file an appeal with the main office of priests in Rome. But there's a 1,000-year waiting list, and your case is likely to be rejected. The Dimanes do not accept offerings from the forsworn. The priest continues, your gifts are tainted by your sin. The ghost of your general cannot be appeased by you, because in the eyes of the gods, you no longer have the spiritual standing to make an appeal. You are an outlaw. Your prayers are meaningless. Or he refuses to take your money. You go to a temple and offer the priests all your money to perform a sacrifice for you. They refuse, explaining that your money is spiritually tainted by betrayal and the gods won't accept it. It's like being told your soul's credit is no good. You are cast out of the temple, your heavy purse of silver now feeling like the most useless burden in the world. You sit on the steps of the dark temple, a man utterly rejected. You have been cast out by your comrades, by your commanders, by the priests of the army, and now by the very priests of the underworld. You have learned the terrible, unforgiving nature of Roman religion. It is a system of contracts, not of mercy, and you have breached the most sacred contract of all. There is no ritual that can save you. There is no sacrifice that can cleanse you. There is no priest who will take your case. You are left with nothing but your guilt, your ghost, and the small, strange, pagan charm hidden beneath your tunic. You realize that if the great, orderly gods of Rome will not help you, you are doomed to be haunted forever, or you must find another, older, and perhaps darker path to your own salvation. You are an outcast, a man without a god, without a legion, without a home. The rejection by the priests has confirmed your damnation. You are a ghost, haunting the fringes of a world that no longer has a place for you. You wander the roads of the Roman provinces as a beggar. Your days a monotonous cycle of hunger, and your nights a terrifying theater of recurring nightmares. The ghost of General Crassus is your only constant companion. His sad, disappointed face the only thing you see when you close your eyes. After months of this miserable existence, your old life pulls you back in. The great civil war between Caesar and Pompey is still raging, consuming the Republic. Armies are constantly in need of men, and they do not ask too many questions. In a provincial town, you see a recruiting officer for one of Caesar's new legions, driven by a desperate need for a meal and a place to sleep, and perhaps by a deeper, suicidal desire to find an end in battle. You enlist. You give a false name. You claim to be a farmer whose land was destroyed. Your old life as Lucius, the promising optio of the Ecth Legion, is buried. You are now just Gaius, a common, anonymous foot soldier. You hope that the brutal, mind-numbing routine of legionary life will be a kind of salvation. You hope to lose yourself in the marching, the drilling, the simple, violent business of being a soldier. You hope that a clean death on an enemy's spear will finally grant you the peace that the gods have denied you. But your ghost has followed you. The nightmares continue. The whispers of your broken sacramentum still haunt you on the long marches. The weight of your sin is a heavy, invisible armor that you cannot take off. Your new legion is eventually shipped across the sea to Greece, where the final great confrontation between the armies of Caesar and Pompey is about to take place. You find yourself on the dusty plains of Pharsalus, a single, anonymous soldier in a vast army, preparing for the battle that will decide the fate of the world. The day of the battle dawns hot and clear. The air is thick with the nervous energy of 10,000 men about to engage in a great and terrible work. You stand in the ranks of your cohort, your shield locked with the men beside you, your pilum held steady across the field. You see the vast army of Pompey, and among their many standards, you see one that makes your heart freeze. It is a silver eagle, familiar and terrible. It is the eagle of your old legion, the one you abandoned. You are now arrayed in battle against your own former comrades, against the very standard you swore to protect with your life. The trumpets sound. The armies advance. The air is filled with the roar of the war cries. The first volley of Pila is thrown, a great, dark cloud of javelins that blots out the sun for a moment. Then the two great lines of men crash together with a sound like a thunderstorm, a deafening roar of steel on steel, of splintering wood, of screaming men. You are in the thick of it, a small part of the great, grinding machine of the shield wall. Your training takes over. You stab with your gladius, you block with your shield. The world is reduced to the small space before you, to the sweating, straining man beside you, to the terrified face of the enemy in front of you. And then, in the heart of this chaos, at the very peak of the battle's fury, you see him. He is standing in the enemy's ranks, not 20 feet from you. It is your old general, Gaius Crassus. He is not fighting. He is simply standing there, untouched by the chaos around him, his sad and disappointed eyes fixed upon you. Your mind screams that it is impossible. Crassus is hundreds of miles away, in disgraced retirement. This is a trick of the light, a hallucination born of the heat and the terror and the exhaustion of battle. But it is as real to you as the sword in your hand. You freeze. For a single fatal heartbeat, you forget where you are. You stare at the ghost of your own betrayal, and in that moment, your shield drops a few inches. Your concentration is broken. It is all the enemy needs. A Pompeian legionary, a man from your old legion, sees the gap. His face is a mask of fury as he recognizes you. The Oathbreaker, he thrusts his pilum into the opening you have created. It does not strike you. It strikes the man beside you, a young brave soldier from your new unit, piercing his throat. Your moment of personal, psychological horror has created a real, physical catastrophe. A hole has been opened in the shield wall. The enemy presses the advantage. Pouring into the gap, your cohort's disciplined line, which had been holding firm, collapses into a chaotic, desperate melee. Men around you, men who had trusted you to hold the line, are cut down because of your failure. The battle is eventually won by Caesar's forces, but your own cohort is decimated in the aftermath, as you and the other survivors tend to the wounded. The story spreads. The men all saw it. They saw you freeze. They saw you cry out at an unseen phantom. They know that the breach, the one that cost the lives of dozens of their friends, started with you that night in the victorious but somber camp. You are judged. There is no formal court-martial. There is only the cold, hard justice of your fellow soldiers. They find you behind the barracks. They do not speak. They simply surround you. And they beat you. They beat you with the flats of their swords and their mailed fists. A brutal, systematic punishment for your cowardice, for the curse of ill fortune you brought upon them. They do not kill you. They leave you a broken, bleeding heap in the mud. You are cast out, a deserter from one army, a disgraced coward from another. You have lost everything that a soldier can lose. You lie in the dirt, the taste of blood and shame in your mouth. You look up at the indifferent stars. The price of your broken oath has been paid in full, not by a thunderbolt from the gods, but by the fists of your own comrades. You are left with nothing. Nothing but the silent, sorrowful ghost of your own failure. Who will now be your only companion for what is left of your miserable life? You do not die in the mud behind the barracks. The army, in its relentless forward motion, simply forgets you. You are a broken part of the machine, and you are left behind. You awaken the next morning, your body a symphony of pain, and you wander away from the camp. A man with no legion, no comrades, no name, and no honor. The great Roman Civil War rages on, and it eventually ends. Caesar is victorious. The world is remade, but you are no longer a part of it. The years that follow are a long, gray, and anonymous twilight. You become a drifter, a ghost haunting the provinces of the empire you once swore to die for. You work as a farmhand, a dock worker, a digger of ditches. Your legionary strength the only thing of value you have left. You keep to yourself. Your past a secret. Shameful burden. The ghost of General Crassus is still with you, but the nature of the haunting has changed. The terrifying nightmares fade, replaced by a quiet, constant, and sorrowful presence. He is no longer an accuser. He is simply a memory, a quiet companion who sits with you in your lonely rooms at night, a silent testament to the man of honor you were supposed to be. Decades pass. You are an old man now, your hair white, your back bent from a lifetime of hard, anonymous labor. You are working as a groundskeeper at a small villa in a quiet part of Italy, not far from where you were born. One day, a traveler on horseback stops to ask for water. He is a man of your own age, his face lined and weathered, but he carries himself with the unmistakable bearing of a retired soldier. He looks at you, and you at him. A flicker of recognition passes between you. He is Marcus, the younger brother of your friend Gallus, the boy who died at your side at Pharsalus. He was a recruit in your old legion, one of the few who remained loyal to Crassus. He does not recognize you at first, the ragged old groundskeeper, but then he looks closer into your eyes. "Lucius," he whispers, his voice filled with a stunned disbelief. That evening, you sit with him, and for the first time in 40 years, you tell your story. You confess everything: the moment of weakness, the broken oath, the terrible guilt, the omens, the haunting, the failure in battle. Marcus listens in a profound and patient silence. When you are finished, he does not look at you with contempt. He looks at you with a deep, sorrowful pity. "We who stayed with Crassus," he says quietly, "we were not spared from misfortune. We were defeated. Many died. Our own lands were confiscated. War is a time of chaos. Lucius, the gods are silent, and the world is full of unlucky chances." He looks at you, his eyes clear. Perhaps the ghost that haunted you was not the spirit of General Crassus. Perhaps it was just the ghost of your own honor. You were not cursed by the gods. You were a good man with a broken heart, and you were haunted by the pieces, his words, spoken with a simple, human compassion, are the absolution that no priest, no temple, could ever offer you in that moment. You understand the true nature of your miserable curse. The gods had not sent the lightning to shatter your standard. The storm was just a storm. The ghost of Crassus was not a vengeful spirit from the underworld. It was a phantom, conjured from the depths of your own profound guilt and shame. You had broken your fides, your faith with yourself, and your own mind had created a hell in which to punish you for it. The most terrible consequence of breaking your oath was not the wrath of the gods. It was the loss of your own soul. And so your story, the story of the oathbreaker, finds its quiet, sorrowful end. You have walked a long and lonely road of self-inflicted torment, a ghost in a world that had moved on without you. You have learned the most miserable and fundamental of all truths, that the most powerful seals are not the ones we make with gods or with men, but the ones we make with ourselves, and they are the most terrible to break. Let the memory of that long-ago war now fade. The clash of swords, the tramp of legions, the sad, disappointed face of a betrayed general, let them all recede into the deep. Quiet mists of the past, the omens have all been fulfilled. The curse has done its work. The ghost is at peace, for it was never anything more than a memory. There is no more guilt here. There is no more shame. There is only the quiet of your own room, the comfort of your own untroubled conscience, and the simple, profound peace of a promise kept